Okay, so we're in the middle of Ois Aleph, and the last thing we were saying is that when a person turns his innermost will, Pnimis Ratzonai, to Hashem, that elicits that Hashem should want to return and show that same love and continence to him. And we got into the concept of what's being revealed, right? In Chodesh Elul, we said it's the Yud Gilum Mizrachim. We answered the question yesterday, like you copy said correctly. Why don't we shut down the shop for 30 days in a row? What was the answer we gave? In other words, if Yud Gilum Mizrachim, the 13 attributes of mercy are revealed in Chodesh Elul every single day, and that's the same thing again in Yom Kippur, what's the reason why we still have our phones and we could still go to court if you're a lawyer and doctor and accountant and do all the truck, whatever you want to do, delivery. Why are we working if there's such a tremendous amount of revelation? What did we answer yesterday? Refresh my memory.
Because it's concealed.
It's concealed. It's in dress. That's the whole point of Yud Gilum Rachamim. To be in a way where it's enclothed and dressed, in a way where it comes down into your mundane things. And we spoke about what Yud Gilum Rachamim are. At the end of Likud Sichas Daled, those of you who want to look up more, the Rebbe brings down from 4 opinions, 4 shittas we say, about what Yud Gilum Rachamim are. And it seems that the one that the Rizal holds, which the Rebbe seems to be going on now, is that it starts with the level of Kel. In other words, one opinion that says it's Havaya, Hashem Hashem. Look in Tachton, we say Hashem Hashem, Kel Rachum Lechan. One says the first Havaya, one is the second Havaya, one is... So here we're going on Kel. The Kel is the first and the general. It's what we call the Mokar Chalusan, right? The source, and it represents the general aspect of Yud Gilum Rachamim. That's what Kel is. K'mei shekosov Kel Lavai v'Yalonu. He's the benevolent God. He shines to us. Shu b'chinas Ein Sof. That's him holding halfway down in the second column. It's the infinite light of God. Mamish K'mei shekosov Hashem Elokeicha Eish Eichel. Hashem is the consuming fire. Right? Hashem is a consuming fire. Pirish, what does it mean? It's like you have a light and a ray which comes out from a fire. That's me. In general, there's no difference. There's no difference between it, the fire, and the air which comes out. Anyone here been to a campfire when they were younger? So you have the actual fire, like very close to the coals, and then you have these sparks and things would shoot out on the higher part of the fire. If somebody touches the thing coming out or the actual base of the fire, there's no difference. They're both hot. It's like Ohr. Ohr represents the source where it comes from. So we want to say that when Hashem is giving the Ohr here, and we're talking about the highest level of Ohr, we spoke yesterday about the Yud Gilum Rachamim, which we defined, I told you the tshuva from Hai Goyen, and he said, Esa Yadaynu Tenai, no, Yud Gimel Lo Yadaynu. What was the pshat? What would we say the explanation of Lo Yadaynu means? I don't know. We said, yeah? Huh? Emunah, faith. In other words, when we say Lo Yadaynu, it's a level which is higher than Ishtalshalush. Esa Yadaynu, Yud Gimel Lo Yadaynu. I don't know what Yud Gimel is. It's a level, in other words, where does Emunah begin? Anyone heard of the concept of Emunah? What's Emunah? What's Emunah? Emunah Hashem. You ever heard that? You have Emunah. Where does Emunah, faith in Hashem, begin? Is it a leap of faith? What's the concept of faith? Is it just believe? What do you guys think? Where does faith in God begin?
When does it start?
Yeah, when does faith begin? When do you have faith?
Oh, when do you need to start?
First of all, is the faith we're asking you to do in Judaism, is it called a leap of faith?
No.
And second, it's not.
Yeah, because you can look and you can see. I mean, even if you say he doesn't exist, if you go historically speaking, the Torah lines up with history.
So you're saying it's a logical. So where does Emunah begin then? If it's logic, then what? Then where does faith begin?
So above reason.
I like what you're saying. Above reason and logic and understanding. That's where faith begins, where I can't understand it. But just because I can't understand it, does it mean it doesn't exist? In other words, I think I gave them also about the fisherman in one of the classes before, right? person goes with a fish net, and they're 1.5 inches in his holes, and the hole goes for 2 weeks, and what does he catch? All the fish are 1.6 inches, and 2, and 3, and 5. He says nothing exists under 1.5 inches in terms of fish. Is that correct or not correct?
Not correct.
Why?
Because his holes are 1.5 inches.
Ah, his holes were 1.5 inches. So just because my vessel can contain something, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It means that I can't fathom it. There's something higher than that. So Emunah begins the faith when we say the greatness of Hashem is so great that He's beyond my understanding. They want us to Kotzker Rebbe. Somebody wants us to Kotzker Rebbe. How can I believe in God? I don't understand it. I don't understand Him. You believe in Hashem. He says, Kotzker answered him, a great tzaddik. You want to believe in a God that you can't understand? What a small God that is. You want to understand everything that He does? That would be, Yeah, it would be pretty small. One of the definitions is that Hashem comes down in the way of intellect understanding. Some things we do understand, they're logical mitzvahs. And then there's a part where Emunah begins, like you said, Zechariah, where reason and logic and understanding ends. So here we're talking about the Pnimis Rotzon, the Pnimis of the Eibishter coming down, and how does it get evoked? From the Pnimis. The Pnimis means the innermost. Who evokes it? The innermost of who? The Yid. We gave the Moshe yesterday. Reuven likes Shimon, right? He likes his character traits. He likes his, it's good to be around friends because they're enjoyable. They're smart. They're favor. They're all about what they do and their midas. Fine. That's Esesphiras. The way your intellect and the way you have emotions and the way that's all associated with chitzenis of the person. And then you have a love of a father to a son. Right? When we spoke yesterday, the child's not doing anything, it's causing him work and everything, and he cries and he wakes up and he still loves him. Because there's a certain connection that a person can have to somebody, an etzem, essential connection, which is higher than reason, understanding, and anything you do. So too, this is what we're saying over here, comes out in Chodesh Elul. Through you turning to Hashem, through your innermost will, higher than reason, understanding, He turns back to you and you give rachamim. Now, it's coming down anyway. Melech Basada. But we said, in order to internalize it, what do you have to do? What are the magic words? We said, Kol Misha Reitza. First of all, you have to want it. Second line, he says, Lahakdil Pon. You have to go out. You have to go out. You have to be there, and then He's going to receive you. But if you're not going to go out and get it, as we said before, because it's not a potent revelation, what's going to happen? You're not going to realize you missed anything. If you use the Yud Gimel Rachamim in Chodesh Elul, you will be greatly assisted. And if you don't use it, what's going to happen? You won't know you missed anything. Which is not the case in Chodesh Tishrei. Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, the work that you do is what? It's not a result of you yourself initiating. What is the work in Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur? What is your avodah? What's your service of Hashem? In Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, that's a result of what? Good. Double points. That's the result of the revelation. The work that you do in Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, they causes a potent revelation. You have Melech, the king, not in Sada, not like, he's a farmer and he's dressed and clothed and he's one of the guys. He's revealing himself in strong, potent revelation. And therefore, that's called Isirusa de La'ela, rousal from above. And that's why the work you do is an outcome of the revelation. That's called Gilim in Lamaila, or Isirusa de La'ela, a revelation from above which is arousing you to work. Here it's different. The revelation is enclosed, and therefore you have to be the one to initiate it. However, since they're there, we say that you will be assisted and they help you. And that's what we're saying, that you turn to Him and He will turn to you. And when you get the Yuz Rachamim, that's like a mushal of Ur, which comes out from the fire. There's no difference between the light that He gives and the ray and the source. He says, Kach, I'm holding halfway down the light, Kebiyachal. So the way of Kebiyachal is a hard word. It means anthropomorphism in English. It's way, when you ever heard that word? It means anthropomorphism. Ever heard that name before? Kebiyachal. Teach you a new word for to translate. Anthropomorphism is when you apply something human to something which is not human. That's what Kibiyachol means. In other words, Hashem is not human, so we say Kibiyachol, right? Ha'aras Padam. What does it mean, the Ha'aras Padam of Hashem? Ha'meir Klalos Israel. It's like shining, like when we shine something, we look and take a flashlight, you shine. So we want to use a mushal, kaviyachol, that Hashem does that also. But it's not holding something. It's not taking a real physical light. The best we can understand it is by taking a human idea and applying it to Hashem. And we're saying kaviyachol, that Hashem is shining to the general Jewish people. The bechinas kel. He's shining to us from his infinite light. And therefore, Nikra Yisrael Loshen Sar Kel. Yidden are called the level of Sar Kel. Look at the word Yisrael. Yud, and then you have Yisrael, you have a Sar right after the Yud, which means master, and Kel is this name of Hashem, which we just spoke about before, the one which is associated with Yud Gimel Midas Rachman. We are called Yisra Kel, Loshen Sar Kel. The Yud, what about the Yud? He brings a verse. Meira al hasmada pula. It shows on consistent doing. Kacha yasa Eiv. It could have said kacha asa Eiv. Eiv did. When it says yasa, it means Eiv would always do. So the Yisrael, the Yud in the word Yisrael, represents that we always have this level where we're a master, we're a master of this kel within us. This infinite light is shining within us, and we're a master of it. The problem is sometimes, despite the fact that we have it, what happens? I'm going to say more in the next paragraph in Ois Beis. It becomes what we call in Golus. What's Golus? Anyone could translate for me? Exile. So you could have something great. You're getting all the points today. Good class. You could have something there, but just because it's not expressing itself, it doesn't mean it's not there. It's not the... We're always Yisrael Kel. Yisrael Kel, with the expression we say, Afal Pi Sheched Yisrael. Even though we sin, Yisrael. We're still at the level of Yisrael. We want to stress the advantage, the Mailu, the Shem Yisrael. Even though you sin, you're still Jewish. But that's really within you. You're the master. It's in you. You'll never lose it. The Hainu. This means to say, Sheyes bechol nefesh Yisrael. There's in every single Jew. A need to sell a godly spark, mamash. Hamechaya nafshe, which enlivens your neshama. Lokis umoishich b'tivri. He draws in its nature l'mayla above l'or b'orachayim, to the light of all lights. Limser nafshe lav yizbarach, to have what we call mesiras nefesh. We said before, mesiras nefesh could either mean kipshuta, giving up one's life literally, or mesiras nefesh, we translated mesiras rotzon, giving up your will, do anything what Hashem wants, to be connected. And this level, as we said before, is higher than intellect v'das. Why? Why is it higher than intellect? Shebenafshe, in your soul. Because through one's wisdom and intellect, and that's its connection, how it connects to the midos, a person wouldn't grasp this level. To nullify himself and to make himself ownerless and just do anything what Hashem wants. They call from everything b'shvil yizbarach for Hashem. But because of this level of kel within us, which is higher than intellect, we want to give up everything, even if it means doing something which is illogical. This is what it means, that you are children to Hashem, your Father, to your God. We say like a son comes from the father's leg. Why are we saying leg over here? What's this?
So the son comes from the father's leg, or he is the father's leg?
Barak is like. He Barak Kera. Is like. He's like the leg of the father. Why are we bringing leg over here? Right? Because a leg is completely batul and does what the brain wants. So the son is like the leg. He has this level of leg of the father, meaning this level where he wants to be essentially bound and do things which need to get done, even if it's beyond logic.
Isn't the cuff and kara not a prefix?
Yeah, I thought so too.
Maybe. Barakera devua. The son is like the. I'll check it up just to make sure. Barakera devua. The son is leg of the father. Shall aviv belishum tamadas, without any reason or understanding. Like a leg. Shebatul gabi reish, which is nullified regarding the head. Doesn't have any will at all. And this is what it means, nullify your will, because his will, in order that it should shine to a person, bechinis, the level of Pnimis Ritzonis Baruch, Hashem's innermost will. Tzarech levatel kol Ritzonis. He needs to nullify all of his wills. Shelo yeh lo yiratzon achar klal. We'll have to get back to this next time, but I don't want to miss davening. So we're saying, when you get to this level of batel Ritzoincha, there's one thing that's aser Ritzoincha. Do his will, and he'll do your will. Here's batel Ritzoincha. It means that I have no other will except for his will. And that causes him to want to nullify his will and do what you want. And in other words, when you are nullifying your will, it causes that it should shine to the person his innermost will. And as we said before, in order to get this, a person has to make sure that he has no self-wills, things that he wants for himself. Rather, he wants to do it. He wants to do his thought, speech, and action only for things that Hashem wants. Okay, sorry we ran out of time, God willing, but we'll continue. Have a wonderful davening.
Thank you.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Yeshiva Torah Ohr of North Miami Beach.